Well, they said it. They said it couldn't be done. They said it couldn't be. They said all you're allowed is one Coach's Corner episode a semester. But no, Coach Walls and I said no. We by sheer force of will, we have dragged Dylan back, and we are back on Coach's Corner for our second of hopefully many episodes the rest of this academic year. Coach Walls, happy holidays and welcome back to Coach's Corner.
Happy holidays to you as well. I'm excited about this. You know, like you said, we've tried and
man,
obstacle after obstacle, but here we are, and we're not going to let anybody stop us from here on out.
That's right. That's right. You heard it here first. Dylan has tried. He's played a lot of defense against the show, but we're back. We've gotten through it, and we're back. And today we're going to highlight one of our kind of a series here of our. It's been great. We've had a lot of success here in the fall. Our national tournament qualifiers at Midway, of which we had 2 this fall. And the first one this week is cross country, men's cross country, who won the River States Conference tournament up in Richmond, Indiana, and then ended up in the national tournament for the first time ever out in Oregon. Vancouver, Washington was the national tournament.
Right. Yeah. Fun kids. We're going to have a little conversation here with Coach Walls and 2 of the runners and 2 brothers. Great conversation we had. I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Yeah, no, they were great. They'll give you a little insight on how the season went. Sounded very similar to a lot of seasons. You know, there are some teams that are just great from day one. This team sounded like they kind of built, had a little setback, and then did it when it mattered, so to speak.
Yeah, I think it's a great inspirational story for all of our sports teams and stuff. About as coaches, we talk all the time about hard work, and if you work hard, it'll pay off. And you're talking about an entire team that bought into a philosophy and worked hard and had obstacles and
kind of stayed the course, if you will.
Stayed the course.
And just didn't let those obstacles, like you said, kind of, you can kind of go one way or the other, and they chose the path less taken and won the league. So I think it'll be a great story. I think everybody will enjoy that. So we'll talk about them. Also, congrats. Hopefully we'll have, again, going on year 3 now. They tell me we have women's volleyball here. I mean, that's what everybody says. It's on the website. We never get them on the show. They don't want to come on the show, but they did have their best season ever and make the national tournament.
Right. Yeah. Very exciting to watch. I was able to go to one or 2 of the matches, and man, the atmosphere in that gym was fantastic. And the girls rose and performed really well this year, and I couldn't be more proud of them.
Yeah, Coach Rima had a great group. Really, from day one, that you could tell they had a little bit better focus. I thought this year a little bit. So some new pieces that really helped, and they just got rolling and
they did.
Made the conference final. Lost to Kokomo, who was the best team all year, and then got to the national tournament. Played a national finalist in Park and had a good showing. So yeah, congrats to them. Hopefully we'll get somebody on here to actually talk about it at some point. But we're going to do another show next week to kind of recap the whole fall for everybody. But I know, Coach, you want to talk a little bit about the sports that are currently going on, including basketball, correct?
Right, including basketball. What's going on with your team there this semester?
Yeah, we had a pretty good start to the season. We're currently 6-4. Got off to a decent start. Won our first league game on the road at Oakland City, which is a big win for us. Won 2 games over the Georgetown Classic over Thanksgiving. We're rolling along. We've dropped a few league games in a row. Game at Alice Lloyd, I really felt like we had just lost in overtime. They made some plays at the end, and then Kokomo is really a really good team. Went on the road there, and again, kind of cut it to one about 12 minutes ago, and then just they made some more plays than us. So we have a veteran group. I'm really pretty excited about our future. Hopefully, we've had a difficult schedule. We're the only league team that hasn't played a home league game yet. We have that first one tomorrow on Saturday against St. Mary's of the Woods. So all in all, I think I've had a couple Division I exhibitions. We've got a couple games canceled with COVID. That COVID's still real out there. Get your boosters. But overall, our group, I'm pretty happy with where our group is at, and I think we have a chance. If we come back with the right mindset and a few tweaks, I think we'll say, and health will be really important, obviously. I'm interested to see how we do in the spring.
Yeah, it seems that your team and you have a good positive atmosphere this year, like going into the Christmas break, I guess, as you guys call it or whatever. But
Yeah.
it just seems like your atmosphere is really good. And,
I would
playing
agree.
that game probably at Freedom Hall against Bellarmine had to be a lot of fun for the kids and doing something like that.
Yeah, we played there. We played at EKU. The final scores don't really show it, but I thought we competed okay. And, those teams were just, Division I teams. And they were both they were different games. Bellarmine, we could not buy a basket. We just couldn't make a shot. And then EKU made every shot. It wasn't necessarily, a bad showing on our part. They just made a ton of threes. So, yeah, I'm okay where we're at. The women are off to a great start. So it's going across the aisle here a little bit. They're 5-0 now in the league, I believe. First place on our side, had dropped a couple of games early to really good opponents, nationally ranked opponents. But their Coach Minner has them rolling over there, looks like.
Yeah, I think does he Coach Minner 400 wins in his career or something?
His 400th career win recently. Yep, congrats to him. Outstanding achievement.
And then I think they had a top 25 victory over somebody too.
Mount Vernon Nazarene, who was is in the poll somewhere. So yeah, they've been doing great. We've had a couple of they were 21st, I think, in the nation. And both sides now have had a couple of players of the week. Allison Callahan, a fifth-year senior, and Desiree White, a transfer junior, I believe. Both were named Women's Player of the Week over the past month or so. And Raekwon Evans was got the award for us a couple weeks ago. So not only some team success, but some individual accolades for basketball this semester.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds like everybody going to the breaks doing well. And
wrestling having a really good start. So we had a couple of duels here a week and a half ago or so, which we came out on the right side of. I saw that our last trip to, I think, Lindsay Wilson. We wrestled a few other stronger opponents and have done pretty well, 3-2 down there. So yeah, I think overall it's been again, we'll recap everything here next week, but so far winter's been pretty positive on campus.
Yeah, it seems like all the sports are rolling pretty good. We'll have a good momentum coming back from Christmas break, and look forward to seeing what's going to happen with our spring teams also.
Yeah, that's it. They've been working hard too, getting ready for that. So we will be, again, appreciate you finding us here on the web. It's hit or miss with Coach's Corner. We're gonna make more hits though than misses down the second semester. And we will be right back talking a little men's cross country here on the corner right after this. All right, Eagle Empire, welcome back to our cross country, our series here of national tournament participants. Today we welcome the cross country program. We highlight them fresh off their national tournament, their River States Conference title and their national tournament appearance. And we're really pleased to have with us Coach Jay Walls, not to be confused with Coach Tim Walls. So it's the homonym special here today on Coach's Corner. And also brothers, Jacob and Josiah Cossacks, who both were our first team all-conference selections this year in cross country. Gentlemen, welcome back to the Coach's Corner.
Hey, Coach, thanks for having us. Appreciate you having us on here.
Thanks for having us.
So Coach Walls, talk to us. Obviously last year you guys had a lot more success, than in prior years. You added some pieces, and this year, obviously, it all came together to win the River States Conference. Tell us a little bit about the journey this year's team kind of went on to reach that point.
Well, it was a journey, all right. Well, it all started last spring semester, just like you said, bringing everybody back we had and adding the pieces. I definitely knew it was possible. It was just, once again, just getting the guys and everybody to believe into, and they believed, they bought into it. They definitely put in the work this summer and this fall. And we're big believers in working hard, but trying to have fun at the same time. And I feel like it was a great mixture this fall. We got a great group of guys. But like you said, it was every season has its ups and downs, so to say. And so we definitely had some downs. But everybody rebounded well. We had a great last 3 weeks, which is when it matters and when it counts. And everybody came together as a team, and they pulled off the unthinkable. Went in ranked 7th before conference started, and the guys came out and they pulled off the big upset and got the win. And it was definitely an amazing journey. And that's the thing that I definitely always try to make sure we focus on is the journey. It's not always the end result, but the journey. And it was a great journey this year. Along the way, they picked up 3 invitational wins during the season, to go along with the conference championship. So a fun season to say the least.
So when you go into the conference tournament, what did you think the biggest obstacle was going to be for your team?
Biggest obstacle for us, I would say, is getting that spread, keeping that spread as low as possible for us. Like I said, talking about that journey, unfortunately, we lost one of our guys for a conference who was one of our top guys. So it was just getting everybody to step up and fill that void, which is what they did. We needed to win the matchups like we discussed, and that's exactly what those guys did. So the biggest thing for us was just having everybody else step up after we lost one of our key contributors throughout the season, and that's exactly what they did.
So Jacob and Josiah, obviously Jacob, this is your second year with the program, coming off a really great freshman season with them, and Josiah joined you this year, obviously. What are some differences, not only that your brother was here, but what are some differences you noticed in the group this year between year 1 and 2 that may have kind of propelled you to, to that strong ending those last 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I think Coach touched on this before, saying that we really came together in the last 3 weeks. I think this team, all throughout the season, I could just feel there's something special about this team. Not that last year was a lot of fun, but there's just something different. And this whole season, me and Josiah kept saying, like, boys, this is our season. We're gonna get this. Like, they're gonna have to make a movie about this. This is some crazy stuff happened. We're like, just had this feeling that this could be our season, and we kept putting in the work. And then those last 3 weeks, it just really just came together perfectly. Like the last couple of weeks, everything just went good. We all, with one of our top guys getting it done, we all realized we had to step up. You could see it in all the workouts, the intensity. Just, it was like something clicked in every single guy from like 1 down to the 7. We all stepped up. And then when it came to conference time to race, it was all about those matchups, like Coach mentioned. And every single one of us, I mean, winning by 1 point is insane in cross country. So all those, each one of us on the team won those matchups, and that's what put us in the position to get that title. So
every day that you guys go out, you train. I mean, it was motivation every single time. Like, was it brought up on your team that, hey, this could be our year? Was it talked about like on a regular basis with you guys as runners?
Oh yeah, like even from the beginning of the season, we were always talking about, like, we can do this. We just got to keep working. And like we've been all summer and throughout the season, we just got to keep doing our part, and we have a great shot at winning this. And even the first day when we met as a team, we talked about our goals for the season, and we had high goals as a team, and we were shooting for that top 3. And I was like, why not go all the way? But especially, I kind of started off small. Not everyone believed at the beginning, but we started kind of spreading the word, and before you knew it, everyone was bought in. And by those last couple of weeks, everyone believed. Like, it was a belief that I've never been a part of a team where everyone believed, and that's why I felt like it was possible, because everyone bought in.
Was there a point of the season that made you guys flip that switch and say, hey, we can do this? Was there a certain moment?
And what's going to be the inflection point in the movie? And
Yeah.
most importantly, who are going to play?
Yeah.
Who are we hiring to play you two?
I remember a specific moment in the season, like it was 3 or 4 weeks before before our conference race. And this was just after we'd been going through stuff as a team. We had lost that guy, and we were kind of felt like we were falling apart. And I remember we had a practice on campus, and right before our run, Coach had us huddled around, and he was talking to us. And like around the team, even myself, like it wasn't very positive, the atmosphere. I remember Coach gave us this speech, one of his classic speeches, and he's like, hey guys, like, I believed in you at the beginning of the season, and obviously things haven't gone our way of late, but I still believe in you guys. And he said, like, I really think we can still do this. I remember walking away after that speech, and like I asked Jacob, I'm like, do you think he really believes that? You think he really believes that we can win this? Because I was like, I don't know. It's definitely, I don't really, I'm still new. I haven't been here for too long. I don't know if Coach just says stuff just because he's supposed to, he's believe us, you know what I mean? But Jacob told me, no, Coach doesn't just say, if he says something, he means it. Coach really believes in us. So from that like moment forward, I was like, all right, if coach believes, I believe. And like the whole team just, from that point forward, we all just came together and we were all like, we can do this. That was really felt like the turning point for me.
Yeah, I totally agree with Josiah on that one. That little practice in that speech. I mean, I was feeling down after that. Before that player had quit, like we were ranked number 1 for a couple weeks there after winning the conference preview meet. So like we felt like we had a great shot at it. But then after that, it just felt like, yeah, everything was falling apart. But after that talk, and we're like, all right, like we need to regroup. We still got a shot at this. It's not going to be the same. We're all going to have like exceptional races. But it started off like, once again, there was just a couple of us that believed, and we started spreading the word, and then people started buying in, and you could sense it in the workouts just daily. The whole culture shifted, and those last 3 weeks are just something very special happened, to the point where that last night before conference, we're all talking in the hotel room. And you could feel it. Every single person believed. And what made it so special, and I think this is why we won, was because we weren't just racing for our like individual selves. It was about the team. We all cared about each other so much. And we knew when you get in, especially in cross country, it's very painful. It's very painful running that many miles at that speed. And so you hit that point where you're just dead. But when you're thinking of your brothers who are out there racing for you, that's what propels you forwards. And those one point difference, that's what it came down to. We were all thinking about each other out there. I know I was, and I remember we all talked about it after, and that's what made it possible.
Great. Coach Walls, so obviously, I think that movie is Miracle, by the way. I think we've already seen that movie, but we'll move some things around and we'll get it done. Coach, talk. So you guys made it to national again, the first time ever in the school history, the national tournament out in Washington. Talk to us a little bit about what the experience was like for your guys out there.
Oh, yeah. Wow. The experience was great. And I'll actually let them talk about that. But we got to go to the Nike World headquarters in Portland. So we went and checked that out. Got to run on that campus, world famous, renowned campus, on their track that they have as well, too, the running path. It was just a great experience overall for myself, as a coach, and I hope that they enjoyed it as well too. Like, so I'll let them touch on that, but overall it was a great trip. It's one of the best trips that I've had, being in college athletics. It's one that I'll definitely remember, for the rest of my life. It's a great group of guys. Like, I can't even say that enough. And when you're, around people like that, it was a good time. But I'll let them hit on that.
Oh yeah, no, it was an amazing trip. Just being together as a team, and also I think a big part of it was just we had accomplished what we set out to do. We had won the championship, so like the pressure was kind of gone. We were able to just really come together as a team and just enjoy ourselves. Whether it was the plane, the flight over, or the car rides, or staying at Coach Jackson's house. All kinds of crazy stuff happened that we can't really talk about right now. But, we had so much fun.
Wow.
I can just
Coach's
say
Corner after dark, maybe. Something like that. Wow.
Coach Jackson.
No, I 100% agree with what Josiah said. They're just having such a special group of guys. Every single moment was eventful. Like, there was never a boring moment from our little car trips around or on the plane. I mean, 7-hour plane trip, but somehow it was interesting. And just the whole trip was like that. Every single moment was special. And then going down to Hayward Field, seeing Prefontaine's memorial and his trails, just so many places that most runners don't get to go to. And it's like, it felt surreal. It's just the best trip of my life. I think most of the guys feel the same way.
That's great. Well, we despite the fact that we've had a no show for like months now, we threw this one together, and we asked the viewers for questions, and as usual, the viewers responded. At least one viewer, and Okie from Oklahoma does have a question for this segment. Okie in Oklahoma, and I don't know how he knows this. I can't imagine. How has the cross country team benefited from men's basketball recruitment? So this touches on something I would like to touch on. The fact that Jacob, came to us obviously to play basketball and found his true calling as a runner. So but Josiah, what type of background did you have in cross country prior to coming to Midway?
I had a very similar background as Jacob. I did have a little bit more experience than him. I ran my senior year of high school. I remember he was, up until my senior year, I didn't even know that running was a sport. I remember, people would talk about it. So
Well, you got to run around the moose up there, so it's hard. You got to run away from bears. Like there's a whole thing. I lived up there. I get it.
Maple syrup.
Yeah, maple syrup. Yeah, you got to exactly.
I had guys on my basketball team who would try and convince me to run track or run cross country. And I'm like, so like you guys run like for fun? Like I'm like, I don't really understand how that works. And I remember like I was kind of stubborn. Jacob was, Jacob switched over and he's obviously, was having some success. And right before cross country season, last, fall 2020, he's like, you need to do cross country. And I'm like, why? He's like, I think you'd be good at it. I think you're going to like it. And I'm like, he signed me up. He signed me up. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I ran that cross country season and I just enjoyed it so much. I really was like, I discovered a new passion. I was still planning on playing basketball that season. But then my coach Jay reached out to me and was like, would you, if you had the opportunity, would you want to run in college? And I was like, I mean, yeah, that would be pretty awesome. So I was like, I guess I gotta, I ended up deciding I'm going to run. And so I didn't I didn't play basketball that season. And I just committed to running. I just didn't think I could, run 50 miles a week and make it to all these practices 6 days a week with basketball. So it was a tough decision, but I ended up, I'm really happy with it.
We all know, as I said many times, Coach Walls, the Northeast Kingdom is the Kenya of America. So that, it's a high elevation. There's a lot, so it's good training ground up there. So you're
Exactly.
We brought some of our fuel from up there.
There it is. Look, look at that.
May not be in Vermont.
We're not in Vermont anymore, but we never leave.
We always have our stuff with us.
You have to. That's great. That's
So
great.
to answer your question, Coach K, we've benefited greatly.
Well, it wasn't my question. It was Okie. So Okie, there you go. Yeah.
Okie from Oklahoma, we've benefited greatly.
I'm starting to understand that the key to success in these sports is to recruit people who don't play your sport. Is that right? Is that like, I guess that's the key to it, is to win. You have to get people who don't actually play the sport. So
I might try that.
You
Maybe
don't
we'll
need to recruit,
get a
though.
cross country
That's the
runner from Lamoille Union or something.
yeah.
I don't know. All right. Well, I really appreciate Jacob and Josiah and Coach taking time out to share a few minutes with us here on the corner. Now, you guys are down in Texas right now training for a half marathon. Is that correct?
Yep. Tomorrow we have a half marathon. We're trying to hit the qualifying times to run a full marathon at nationals. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, best of luck. Keep us posted.
Thank you.
Dylan won't probably tell us. So somebody please tell us what happens down there so we can update you on the next Coach's Corner.
Awesome.
All right, we'll keep you posted.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks. Thanks again. Good luck tomorrow.
Awesome.
Congrats on a great year. And we will be back right after this with everybody's favorite segment. Well, maybe some people's favorite segment, FaceTime with Dylan.
Thank you for having us
so much.
Again, do not adjust your set out there. Do not adjust don't check your internet connection. It's perfectly fine. It's sure enough. Dylan Brown is back here on Coach's Corner, kicking and screaming. He did not want to have this program, but Coach Walls and I told him, no, Dylan, we can't have it without you, because how could we have a sponsorship opportunity here, and it is Apple. If you're out there, we're still waiting. FaceTime with Dylan. Dylan, welcome back, begrudgingly, to Coach's Corner.
I've done my best to play full court defense. I've even talked to Coach Minner about his press, how the press works, how you trap you two. I don't know. I haven't figured it out, but you two.
You're not going to stop us. You are not going to stop us. We are going.
I was held against
better people than you have tried, Dylan. Better people than you have tried, and we still have the show. I
would say I was held against my will, and then I was walking through town the other day, and then someone stopped me. Hey, aren't you Dylan? Like FaceTime with Dylan? I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm surprised anybody's left in town that remembers that.
I know, right?
It's been so long. So, well, Dylan, welcome back. I know it's been an eventful semester here. We're going to have a wrap up next week, and we'll explain a little bit more about what's been going on, and you'll be with that. But tell us a little bit about what's been happening from the athletic department point of view the last few weeks here in the semester.
It was a crazy fall, that's for sure. But now that we've really only got basketball and wrestling going on right now, and now at the end of the semester in mid-December. And really now it's only basketball, and they've only got one game left. So just been trying to wrap up the semester, and then before you know it, we'll be back in January, and then it's full-fledged with men's volleyball, baseball, softball, men, women's track and field, and you name it, it'll all be going on.
Sounds like an easy time for you. I don't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't.
Very easy.
You're not getting any sympathy over here, Dylan.
No, I understand.
Don't
I
look.
understand. I'm not
Don't
looking
look to
for
this
any.
group for sympathy.
I'm not looking for any. So
All right. Well, we know this is normally the time. Well, one thing I will say now, we talked about. We're going to highlight this next week, but we've wrapped up finals last week, and everybody, the grades are all in, and you are, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you're tabulating kind of the AD honor roll and things that we will be releasing next week. Is that correct?
yeah, so I get all the transcripts. It's about 550 to 600 transcripts that I'll go through in the next few days. Put it all in an Excel spreadsheet and see how well our kids did in the classroom. Just looking at them so far, been pleased with what we've seen so far. I've only been through a couple teams, just a handful of teams so far. But next Monday. We're taping this right now on Friday, so but next Monday is when I'll really dive deep into the transcripts and start going cross-eyed and everything.
That is quite an elaborate description of the process there.
Very elaborate.
right down to
Very
the Excel part. That's terrific.
Exactly.
I wasn't sure how you were tabulating, but I can sleep well now knowing that Excel's doing it.
I'd be over. I'm still trying to count on my fingers. Like 2 plus 10. How many is that? I don't know.
You can borrow my abacus over here if you want.
I might need that.
Okay.
You and me are the only one who know about abacuses, so I think we're
Abaci, is it abaci? It's more than
Abaci.
abacus. I don't have to check on that. Well, normally we only had a few questions this week because we kind of threw this episode together. But how did people, send in their questions here to Coach's Corner for future episodes?
So send in your questions. You can send a text to the HON text line that is 859. Get your pencil ready. Get your pen. And I can see.
I got to write it down.
Get your pen. 859.
Yep.
846. 5327. That's the HON text
5327.
line.
What if I use Twitter, Dylan, and I want to do it that way?
Twitter, no problem. Just tweet us at Go Midway Eagles.
At Go Midway Eagles. Not stop. Go.
At Go.
Go Midway Eagles.
Go GOMIDWAY EGLES.
Okay.
And tweet us using hashtag the hashtag Coach's
Number sign
Corner. Yes.
Coach's Corner.
Too bad we can't pop this up on our screens.
I know. There was one. We've had one graphic in the history of Coach's Corner. It was during Coach Tinker's first appearance. So maybe Dylan can put this, that was 2 years ago. Maybe Dylan can put this together. So
maybe
there's a lot of institutional knowledge over here for that.
Lots.
Coach Walls, did you have any questions? I thought you said you might have had a question.
I do. I fired up the Twitter machine yesterday, and there's a question that popped up. A Grace from New Albany, Indiana, wants you to answer a basketball question.
I'll do my best. That's not my area of expertise, but I'll do my best.
Well, this question you might be able to help us with. She's curious about why basketball players sit so close to each other on the benches. Like when you watch the basketball teams, you guys look like you're sitting on each other's laps. Why can't you spread your chairs out?
All right. So I'll tell you, last year with COVID, we did spread them out. And honestly, I loved it. I thought it was great. There was so much more room back there. I couldn't hear, the kids complaining. It was great. But no, I don't know. I think it just goes back to, not that this is a great answer, but it's always the way everything's always been done, right? We have a lot of guys on our team. If we spread the chairs out, we'd have people sitting in the parking lot. I think it's part of the problem. And I think it's just, you want your team to be together, so to speak. And with COVID and stuff, it's been different. But physically, if you're physically closer together, hopefully you're more together as a group would be my guess. I remember talking with my friends who coach volleyball, and I'd be their guys and girls would stand during play, and I'd be like, boy, that's weird, and they would be like, well, we think it's weird that you sit instead of getting loose and ready to go. And I'm like, he's got a point about that. So I don't know I think it's a sports specific thing, but I don't think it's probably just it just started back when when the peach baskets were up, there was no space in the gymnasium in Springfield, so people had to sit close together. That'd be my guess.
Well, okay. Well, that leads me to another question. So everybody knows basketball players are tall. So why don't they make the chairs taller for you guys so that your knees aren't sitting up around your shins when you sit down in the chair?
I think it's probably a supply and demand situation. I mean, how many chairs? Shout out to John Carvelis, who I said I would try to get a economics thing in there because he enjoys watching the videos. Former professor at St. Michael's College, love him. So there you go. I didn't even do that on purpose. There you go, John. Yeah, supply and demand. I think there's just not enough basketball players. They have to, then you got a quantity of scale, right? Quantity of scale. I'm going back to my undergrad days, but if you make all these big chairs and you can only use them for basketball, I mean, that's really not very efficient. That'd be my guess.
All right. Well, maybe when I retire, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna build a chair for basketball players.
There you go. Maybe that's your patent, and that's your move. It can't be more lucrative than coaching, though, Coach. I don't know. I'm sure that's not.
Make sure you get that.
There was one question I had here from we talked about Okie in Oklahoma earlier. He sent the second question, and he wants to know. It's been months now. I need a reality TV update from Dylan. So Dylan, tell us about what shows you've been watching. What are we in a Bachelor or Bachelorette season? Like, where are we at with that? I know what I had. I know what. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, no, I'm bringing something to the show here because apparently you weren't going to.
Okay.
The Bachelorette.
Should I be
worried? Are we in the Bachelorette or where are we at now?
We are in the Bachelorette. So we're in the second half of the season of the Bachelorette.
Am I correct to say that this Bachelorette is holds the all-time the single game scoring record in a game at Bradley University? I think she does.
I think you might be right. I think you might be right. I think I have heard that.
Speaking of basketball, I think she's a former player at Bradley.
Yeah.
So that means you've been staying up on it.
Not really. Somewhat. I know that they started the season. They finished up the first half. It was weird because they brought in two girls to do one season. Then they split it up into each got half a season. So it's going into way too much detail.
Was it strike shortened? Is it like baseball when they have the strike? They have the winner of the first half against the winner of the second half. Is that what happened?
No, that's just what they decided to bring in. One got half the show time, and she found love, and now she's already gone. And then now they brought in this other one. She's trying to. Wait. Was it a whole different group of guys, or was it the same guy? It was a whole different group of guys.
The rejects.
It wasn't the rejects. It wasn't the rejects.
Well,
I need to know.
It sounds like you've been watching them more than you want to let on.
Yeah. No, you can ask around. I've actually not been watching it, so I need to get caught up. I
told my daughters that you were up on this.
I know. I was literally after I got home last night. I was out working last night, and I got home and I was like,
you were working for Midway last night? There were no events.
We don't have to discuss this right now. That can be brought up at a later show.
Very cryptic. It's very cryptic.
No, I got home and I got to thinking about what we're going to talk about. And I was like, I know the reality TV question is coming, and I'll let the fans down. I let the fans down by no episodes. I've let them down by no reality TV.
This is the highest part. This is the highest ranking part of our show, Dylan.
By far. And this is not helping your cause, your comeback season to get SID of the year. This is like the revenge season, and you're not off to a great start.
Karina at Carlos, she can continue to hold the award. That's fine by me. I'm good. I'm good.
Well, you're our SID of the year, Dylan.
That's right, by default. Tell me. I think you had one other question. I thought you said, Dylan.
Yeah. So we haven't had a coach's corner, obviously. So and
you don't say.
I don't know whose fault that is. I need to talk to the producer about that. But we're in the thick of Derby previews. Derby running. I think they just wrapped up at Churchill a few weeks ago. Keeneland had the fall meet. Now we're at Turfway. What's
are.
what are we looking like for the Derby race to the Derby here, Coach?
Corner handicapping. Well, we had the first the Derby future pool finished up right after Thanksgiving, those 3 days or so. So those odds are locked in. We can start if you want. We'll give you a horse to watch per week if you want. Horse to watch.
I've got my pen and paper ready.
All right, well, the first horse I'm going to give you this for the Derby preps here is Jack Christopher.
Jack Christopher.
Jack Christopher, Chad Brown horse out of the New York circuit. He won one of the big preps up there in the fall, and then was one of the favorites in the juvenile in the Breeders' Cup, and got scratched. I think the day before or the day of with an injury of some sort. So didn't run in the juvenile, which is probably better news for him. Typically, juvenile the Derby, the Breeders' Cup juvenile winner doesn't win the Derby. So I'm going to get. I understand he's back in training, and he's at 8-1, I believe, in the or 10-1, maybe 10-1 in the early Derby future pool. He wasn't the favorite, but he was one of the top two choices. So there's your horse to watch this week. I don't know when he's racing next. We'll have to watch some of the preps coming up here. Oaklawn's running now, and then they'll start running an Aqueduct and back at Belmont. But we'll try to give you every episode. We'll try to give you a horse to watch as we get closer to the first Saturday in May.
Looking forward to it.
There you go.
Looking forward to it. Coach, you're also in the corner handicapping too, aren't you?
I am.
Coach
This is the part where I get really excited. Actually, I just pulled up the Derby preps just here. Look at the races that are coming up, and
What we got this. We got one at Gulfstream this week. What's the one this weekend? Is there one this weekend?
Let's see here. You got
This is fascinating television.
Great television.
Watching us read the internet
right now.
Los Alamitos.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
December
Yeah.
11th. Let's see, Remington Park the 17th, Fairgrounds the 26th, and then Oaklawn Aqueduct January 1st.
All right. Yeah. Usually they really ramp up after the New Year. We had a couple there around Thanksgiving at Churchill, but so that's great. So stay tuned. Do you guys? Anybody wants to try to try their luck this May? We'll give you a few more horses to watch. So Coach, I don't know. It's been quite a layoff. I think we kind of. It's like riding a bicycle, though. I think we kind of got that, or maybe running on a trail, like cross country. I think we got back on the horse here, so to speak, pretty well. I think that was a pretty good show.
Yeah, fun show again. Our thoughts and prayers are going to go out to the people down in all through Kentucky that were hit by the tornadoes and stuff like that. So I want to make sure that everybody's make sure everybody knows that we're thinking about them, and
that was definitely concerning. That was the night we played Bellarmine. I got home, and it was the first time. I'm not as a relative newcomer here to the Midwest. That was my first warning sirens I'd ever heard. Ended up in my closet for about 30 minutes. And thankfully it didn't hit where I was or campus or anything. But I actually texted the next day with the high school coach at Mayfield High School, Coach Croft. We connect every now and then about some players. We recruited some of his guys in the past, and he just thinking about him and his whole community out there. And another former basketball guy, Dylan Simpson. I know it affected some of our students, but him in particular, he had a tough go over there out of Dawson Springs. That's where he was from, and his house. He lost his house because like 75% of the town got affected somehow there. So yeah, for sure that certainly thinking of all that. If anybody wants to do anything, the Team Kentucky site is online. If you any donations or whatnot, the Red Cross doing a lot of good things out there. So if you can spare anything during the holidays here, especially, we'd encourage you to go to those sites and help whoever do what you can. So appreciate everybody out there sticking with us, finding us again. Like I said, we'll be back next week, right, Dylan? Next week. Next week.
Absolutely.
You heard it. It's on tape. We'll be back next week with kind of our fall holiday extravaganza wrap-up show. And until then, happy holidays from the corner.